Welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Pete Quinnell. Randy Orton hasn't been on WWE TV since May 2022, well over a year now, losing the Raw Tag Team Championships to the Usos in the process and being off TV for a reported back injury. He's now received back fusion surgery, which are three words that are never great when placed next to each other, with his future in wrestling unclear. Randy stated that he's been adamant on returning to the ring against the potential medical wishes of those around him, but fans have joined him in that camp of wanting to see him back on our screens and wrestling once again. Well, there may be some good news for Randy Orton fans. This video was posted to X that appears to show Randy at the WWE Performance Center, with Randy even lightheartedly telling the fans there that they don't see him. Then of course that video was posted online, so now lots more people see him. While that isn't proof in and of itself, as there's no indication on when this video was from and it could be an old one resurfacing, there's reports about it too. Fightful Select is reporting that Orton has been at the PC as of late and it hasn't been much of a secret. Orton's bus was reportedly outside, not exactly the most inconspicuous, with Select reporting that Orton had been around for some time lately. In even more encouraging news, Orton has been working out in the gym, and he reportedly got huge in a good way at one point, but as of early August he had not resumed in-ring training, and despite rumors from that time indicating that Orton would be cleared for a return soon, WWE sources reportedly informed Fightful that this was not true, and at that point, he was not cleared. And to add further fuel to the return fire, just in case you thought Orton might have just been visiting and working out in the PC for convenience sake or something, there is reportedly a very strict rule in WWE that if a talent is returning or showing up, they have to work out in some capacity. So it's very possible that Orton turning up at the PC and working out there is in prep for his on-screen return, which fingers crossed can be sooner rather than later. But of course, he should only return if and when he's able to. Best of luck, Randy. Now, unless you've been living under the rock, you'll know that WWE, Endeavor, and UFC are now TKO, with their merger deal coming to fruition last week. And with a merger, there's always a bunch of positive stuff that happens, like a person who left their role disgraced returning to oversee the merger and in turn giving himself his role back with more power than before, 100+ employees being laid off, and whatever this is. But while that may just be a bump in the road for TKO, they've now held their first employee meeting since all those firings, with Vince McMahon and Ari Emanuel heading things up, which would be the time to inspire those remaining staff members, cultivate that positive working environment, and make sure that everyone is ready to go with the new direction of the company. Fightful Select is reporting that there were eye rolls and reactions within the company, courtesy of what Vince McMahon said. Boy, that went well. Good job, Vince. Specifically, what Vince said in the meeting was that WWE had plateaued or stagnated so that the merger was needed in order to take the company to the next level. This was what caused the eye rolls among many because WWE have been quite openly bragging about all the records they've been breaking lately, with revenue, profit, ticket sales, gates for live events, merchandise, and whatever Guinness World Record Natalia's got this week, probably. It was this comment that reportedly led to many within WWE reaffirming their belief that this merger was all a way for Vince McMahon to return to power in WWE, as if it weren't obvious enough already. I also just love the sheer arrogance from Vince. Like, he went away from WWE, which reignited a passion in the fans. The on-screen product, arguably better than it had been in at least a decade, breaking records left, right, and center, and Vince says, stagnating, let me take over for you. But there does seem to be some heat here between Vince McMahon and his WWE employees, but how much heat? I mean, I'm no expert, so let's hand it over to WrestleTalk's own weather reporter, Helen Temperature, to tell us more. How's it looking out there, Helen?
Das, zwei.
Are you saying it's a 2 on the scale?
What? What are you talking about?
All right. Thank you, Helen.
Where am I? How did I get in here? Who are you people? Oh, God!
All right, Helen. Thanks. Yeah, see you later. Anyway, in case it wasn't abundantly clear what influence Vince is having over WWE, there were last-minute changes to Raw once again, with Tegan Nox set to return to Raw to answer Becky Lynch's open challenge, which was reportedly pulled very late in the day. How late, you ask? Well, Fightful Select is reporting that Nox vs. Lynch was set. They had their match laid out with producer TJ Wilson until 10 minutes before doors opened for Raw. Instead, Nox and Natalya were switched, with Natalya answering the open challenge and Nox working a main event match against Xia Li. Lynch had reportedly pushed for the match with Nox, wanting to work with her, but of course that was ultimately changed. I wonder who by? But while you can see this as a dig at Tegan Nox, it could very well just be a positive move for Natalya, as WWE officials were reportedly very pleased with her recently working 2 matches in India, stepping up to the plate when Becky was unable to travel. So maybe this is just a nice reward for Natty, doing some good and looking out for her fellow wrestlers. But still, Sucks for Tegan. There reportedly aren't any significant creative plans for Tegan either, and those that Fightful spoke to were hopeful that the open challenge would continue, but that's unclear right now. On NXT last night, Lynch vs. Stratton 2 was set for No Mercy, in an Extreme Rules match no less, so there's every chance Stratton would win the belt back there, and Lynch's reign would be a short one. No more open challenge for you. But can Natalya save the Raw ratings? No, I don't think anyone can, because with Monday Night Football starting up once again, there is some stiff competition for Raw once more, resulting in this week's show scoring a 1.331 million average viewership figure, the second lowest Raw viewership of all time and the lowest of 2023 so far. But maybe, just maybe, Jade Cargill can turn things around, though I doubt it, that football competition seems rough. But anyway, Jade is reportedly on her way to WWE soon, and Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio had more on what they plan to do with her when she gets there. She was in Orlando today, Monday. I asked if she was at the Performance Center. People had not seen her. That doesn't mean she wasn't there. They're doing main roster creative for her right now, and it's high priority. They're not bringing her in to be like, you know how they would bring in some of the NXT people like Von Wagner or Alba Fire or Katana Chance that are brought up and they have no idea what to do with them, and then they just kind of disappear into the dust. It's almost like, why do we even bother calling them up? She is not earmarked to be like that. She's earmarked for real stuff. Real stuff? Not Von Wagner. Right, got it. Thank you very much, Dave. Also, remember that one episode of SmackDown where Von Wagner was there, wasn't referenced at all, and then never showed up again? Never forget. Never forget. Something else we can't forget is CM Punk. Obviously, in the statement that Tony Khan released about the incident that took place at All In, he mentioned that he feared for his life, with reports noting that Punk lunged for TK during the confrontation with Jack Perry. Now that fearing for his lifeline may have been referenced on CFFC, the MMA promotion that Punk provides commentary for. In describing the nerves a fighter might feel stepping into the cage, Punk's co-commentator mentioned, the bright lights, the big production, I mean, they see CM Punk in the house, they get all nervous, you know what I mean? Punk replied with, well, they might, I don't know, for different reasons, depending on what you're reading, I don't know. And among the ensuing laughter between them, Punk's co-commentator can be heard saying, some of them fear for their lives, I heard. Tee-hee, what a naughty boy. Interestingly, Samoa Joe has recently commented on that backstage incident at All In, where TK said he feared for his life, and in classic Joe fashion, it could be summed up with, not a big deal, TBH. When asked by the New York Post if that moment backstage was as intense as it sounded, Joe said, that's up to whoever perceived it. I'm used to that environment. Those things don't seem very intense to me, but it could be something crazy intense to someone else. I wasn't really affected by the moments. It's like Joe's walk away from a high flyer spot, but about a backstage confrontation, and I kinda love it. But now it's time for my NXT 1 minute, 1 take, where I'll attempt to recount everything that happened on last night's episode of NXT in 1 minute and in 1 take. Let me get my timer ready. Here we go. All right. I need to do better than Luke normally does. That would be ideal. Timer set for 1 minute. Okay, here we go. Start the timer. NXT started with Becky and Tiffany Stratton brawling after a Becky promo leading to a handicap main event with Kiana James as well, followed by the Meta 4 doing a backstage bit, and then Dominic Mysterio tries to recruit Trick Williams to Judgment Day. Butch then defeated Tyler Bate in a great match because of course it was, and then Thea Hale buys a new outfit which we don't get to see yet. Duke Hudson beat Joe Coffey to cause a 3-way tie at the top of Group B's Heritage Cup standings. Akira Tozawa got 0 points, lol. Roxanne Perez defeated Lola Vice. Eddie Thorpe challenged Dijak to a strap match, but he's got so much experience whipping trees, Eddie. And Carmelo Hayes versus Dom Dom ended in a non finish, with Dragunov beating them both up. Joe Gacy tries to recruit Trick Williams to their cult. It's open season, apparently. Price, Nima, and Scripps win some money. Joe Coffey beat Duke Hudson and Nathan Fraser to sort out their 3-way tie. Mustafa Ali is mad that Dragon Lee got a title shot before him. Baron Corbin chatted to Josh Briggs, and Becky was joined by Lyra Valkyria for the main event, where they won in a tag match and then challenged Stratton to an Extreme Rules match and No Mercy. Oh my god, that is the greatest 1 minute 1 take I've ever done. I'm the king of this. That was genuinely, I'm gonna call that flawless. I'm just gonna say it now. That was flawless. Anyway, HBK sure runs a tight show, doesn't he? There's so many segments on NXT. And speaking of HBK, check out the latest Parts of Unknown list, where Tempest lists Shawn Michaels' greatest rivals of his career. Here's a clip. Watch it.
Jack whipping a tree. But that makes sense considering who is putting these shows together. Michael Shawn Hickenbottom is considered by many to be the greatest wrestler of all time, and over the course of his over 2-decade-long